Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is obviously our monthly wrap up and August TBR. I am very excited about certain reads that are coming up in August, and I do feel like this month, while it's still been a slower reading month, I do feel like I've had some really good reads. So I'm not going to bore you with a long intro, we're just going to get straight into doing my book journal as we normally do, and then we will get on to what I've read in July and what we're reading in August. Everyone, it is the next day. I have just got back from work, but we are going to go through the 6 books that I read in July and go through my August TBR. So let's get into it. So the first book that I read in July was Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This was just so lovely. I honestly, if you are really like someone who wants a romance with a very unique twist, I will always recommend Ashley Poston's books. I think I've talked about this in a video before, but she includes a lot of magical realism in her books, and this one is the 2 characters have to write a song, but they can only do it with each other, and they can like hear each other's like every thought, and the closer they get to finishing the song, the quieter and quieter each other's voices are in their heads. And then when they finish the song, they can't hear each other anymore, but you know, they've fallen for each other throughout the process. So it was just such a fun and interesting read. I do always think like her concepts are just so incredibly clever, and there honestly like truly isn't another author like her. So I will always enjoy her books. But I gave this one a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. I think the reason it didn't get a 5 was, one, it took me ages to read. Not for any reason to do with the book, it was just me being busy. But also, I want to say there are a few times where they just like didn't communicate very well in the book, and I'm not a big fan of miscommunication, so that was the only reason it was like slightly marked down. But otherwise, so fun, so cute, so unique. I loved it. Then the next book that I read was What Happens in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This is a second chance romance which follows Danny and, I think I'm saying it right, Walter? Could be wrong, I don't know. But basically he was an exchange student and lived at their house, and they fell for each other, and then when he got back to Amsterdam they ended, and I can't remember, he said something really offensive to her. He did justify it in the book and it made sense, but it was something like really rude. So like, anyway, she ends up moving to Amsterdam, she runs into him literally, and she ends up moving in with him, and they end up getting fake married. And yeah, it's just a really fun book. And I always think like second chance romances like this are kind of fun, and I feel like this one, it was quite nice because I want to say the like miscommunication got cleared up quite early. It only tends to annoy me if it like there's clearly been a big miscommunication in the past and they've just like never talked about it. Like in Happy Place, they leave the miscommunication right to the end, and I just didn't like that. Whereas this one, it got cleared up quite quickly, and then he just kind of got on with like the fake dating part of the plot, which was really fun to read about. So yeah, this was a really fun one, and my first Rachel Lynn Solomon book. So I will be trying to read more of hers. Forgot to say, this got a 4-star as well. Next, I don't have a physical copy, but I will put a picture up on the screen somewhere. But my next read of the month was Phantasma. Again, I cannot remember the author's name. I don't think I've ever once looked. But it was a book that loads of people have been telling me to read for a while, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. I will say, like, there were some parts where I like really didn't care or that were a bit slow. But the story itself, it was kind of like Trials without it being like too trial-y. Also was not expecting the plot twist at the end. I will always say, to be fair, I am so dumb when I'm reading. Like, I am there for a good time. I'm not thinking too hard about anything. So I don't know if other people guessed the plot twist at the end. I absolutely had no idea. So when that happened, I was like, what? I was so confused. And then I felt like I experienced like 100 different emotions at once. I was like confused, then mad, then confused again, and then like, oh, it was a lot. But it was a really, really enjoyable read. I don't know whether or not I will read the second one because it's a very different storyline. It focuses on a different character. So we'll see. If it's got good reviews and people really like it, if you've read Enchantra and you liked it, please let me know down below. But at the moment, it's not really on my like immediate radar. But I gave Phantasma a 4 stars. It was very enjoyable and actually the only fantasy I've read this month. So it made its way in there. Now, the next 3 books were in last week's video, so I'm not going to talk about them too much because you guys saw me read them. But the next book was The Love of My Life, Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This book is her best book and you cannot convince me otherwise. I will say it, I will die on this hill. It is her best book. If you truly like, if you read this when it first came out and you didn't like it, I'm urging you, in fact, I'm begging you, please pick it up again and read it again because it is perfection. I have annotated her. I love it so much. It was so great. I mean, Hayden is, love him. He like is grumpy until you know him and then he's like, oh, love him. Alice loved her as well. This book, I can't express how much I loved it. Obviously it got a 5-star again, but yeah, I just love this book so much. I like the fact that I just want to reread it again. I don't think I've ever felt like no words. Then after Great Big Beautiful Life, we moved on to Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. I will say that I actually forgot to mention in last week's video, please read the trigger warnings if you read this book. Just check them just in case. But this book means a lot to me. I'm not going to go into too much detail about why, but it really just will always hold a very special place in my mind. Like, I love how Lauren Asher deals with the topics in this book. I think she handles them very delicately, and I mean, to make it more lighthearted, anyone who knows me, as I'm sure you guys will know as well now, I love a single dad trope. And what is in this book? A single dad trope. It's about Raphael and Ellie, and I love watching their relationship blossom. I also love Ellie's relationship with Nico. I will say as well, something I love about Raph in this book is that he is a man who very full well recognises his faults and isn't stubborn about them. He goes to correct them, and like, he doesn't shy away from his faults. He doesn't shy away from the fact that, like, in many instances he can be a bit prickly and he can be, you know, he can jump the gun a bit sometimes, but he like owns up to it, takes accountability, like actually works hard to be better. And wouldn't we all like to see that in men? Truly. But yeah, I love this book. Again, a 5-star. And then the final book that we read in July was The Conditions of Will, which again was just such a great book. My God, Jessa Hastings, I love her writing so much. This book, if you love, obviously, Magnolia Parks, I I can't see how you wouldn't love this. It is just, I feel like people haven't been talking about The Conditions of Will enough, and it really frustrates me because it deserves all the recognition that it gets. And it's just, again, like a kind of mixture of so many different things. Like, there's a little bit of a mystery, there's the romance, there's the complicated family dynamics, there's these really deeply flawed characters, there's like found family, kind of. It's I mean, yeah. And also I kind of love, I love the main character in this book, Georgia. I think she is such a queen. I love her. But yeah, this obviously again was a 5-star. So we will now move on to the August TBR portion of this video. I am just looking in my reading journal to remind myself. So the first book on my TBR for August is, I do have it up there, I can't bother to get it down, Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I wanted to read last month, never really got to it, but I am currently reading it. Oh, and Digby is barking. Yeah, I'm reading Atmosphere at the moment. I think I'm like, I want to say like 20% of the way through, maybe, not sure. I'm not that far in, but I'm really hoping to make a dent in it, or at least finish it over the next couple of days. The next book that I'm looking to read is Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings. This is a very anticipated release for me. I had planned to read this last month and then forgot about the fact that I wasn't going to buy it until I went to Dublin, which was at the end of the month. So we're reading her this month. I am very excited. I have no idea what this is about. But I've just kind of learned that with Jessa Hastings' writing that I don't really care what it's about because I can't see how I wouldn't like it. Sorry, I'm just taking off the little label. I apologise, guys, throughout this video if you hear Digby barking, but I really can't stop him, and I really have limited time this evening, so I need to get this video filmed now. But yeah, I'm very excited to get this one, and I think it's actually really short. I think it's like, yeah, it's like just over 300 pages, so it will be a nice quick read, but I'm very excited, and also the cover is amazing. Then the next few books I will put on the screen because I don't have them yet, but I really would like to read, obviously, and I guess with one of the books I read this month, Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. That comes out, I think, this week. I want to say it comes out this month, I know that much. I'm very excited to read that one. Yeah, I mean, the Lakefront Billionaires series has been like so great so far, so I have high hopes for Love Arranged. It is about Lorenzo and can't remember the other character's name, but I'm very excited. It's obviously arranged marriage book, which obviously is going to contain fake dating and all the fun tropes like that. So I'm very excited to get to that one. Then we have another new release, which is The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk by Carissa Broadbent. I read The Songbird and The Heart of Stone last month, I think, in June, and the way that one ended, I was like, oh, I'm so excited for the next one. And I think that one came out today as I'm filming this. Very excited, but that one I'll probably read on Kindle because I imagine it's on Kindle Unlimited, and then I will buy the physical copy at some point. I mean, there is a perfect space up on that shelf waiting for it, so it's ready. The final book that I'm hoping to read this month is Downpour by Maggie Gates. It is the second book in the, what is the series called? I want to say it's called the Griffith Brothers or something like that. I don't know. But I read Dust Storm, I believe, last month or the month before, and I really enjoyed it. So I just want to continue reading that series because I feel like I will have a good time. And I think it might be a pretty good like palate cleanser type book. So those are the 5 books on my TBR this month. But yeah, that means we have reached the end of this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below some books that you think you'd like to watch me read maybe this month or next month, or some books that you read in July. I'd love to hear any recommendations. Also, as always, comment down below videos you'd like to see from me in the future, and yeah, I'll see you all next week. Bye.